Hi, it's Tony from Cassette. Come back. Now, in my last video I looked at this cassette, the Virgin Ferric, and quite a lot of you liked it and made comments on it and said they had some and stuff, and yeah, it went down well. It turned out to be a decent cassette that we're pretty sure was actually a BASF. In fact, supposedly in the comments, this very shell, very smooth one, is actually what the Ferro standard came in from BASF towards the end. Not a common cassette at all, but supposedly that's what this supposedly is, a BASF Ferro standard. So yeah, so I was looking through my piles of tapes, which I still have, and I came across this one, another Virgin, but this time it's a chrome. Now, if you're new to cassettes, let me just do a bit of fog busting here with chrome. Chrome is the default name a lot of companies used for Type 2, because the first Type 2 high position cassettes were chromes, and then later on ferro cobalt cassettes came, which is basically, you know, cobalt oak ferric, which were also Type 2. So chrome in this usage is like calling a vacuum cleaner a Hoover, if you know what I mean. It's a brand, but yeah, it's known as a Hoover, but it's a vacuum cleaner. These are known as chrome, but as it says here, it's high position. So this is of a different vintage from the other Virgin cassette, because the packaging is quite different. And in fact, if you look at the back, it says Virgin Chrome tape sets the standard for dynamic sound reproduction, especially when recorded from digital sources such as CD. Superb sound quality combined with high output, ultra low noise makes this the audio tape for the discerning listener. And I don't know if you can see, it says, thank you for purchasing this Virgin Chrome audio tape, which has been manufactured to the highest quality standards. And it's actually signed, well, Richard Branson. So Richard Branson is endorsing this, and it's made in the EU. Now if you look at the top, it doesn't have the, you know, which gave me the link as to what this was, the tear strip there, which looks like BASF. This doesn't have anything there, doesn't have anything at the bottom, so I'm not sure what this is. I've never opened one of these, so it's a journey of discovery for all of us here, because I'm not sure what's going to be inside the wrapper. So yeah, let's just open it up and see what we got. Okay, let's have a see. Now, I'm trying to discern very generic hubs. I mean, it's a nice looking cassette. The Virgin logo is always cool, the gold writing. Yeah, not sure what them hubs are. This shell. Nothing's jumping out at me at the moment. It says made in the EU, but there's nothing actually giving the game away as to who actually made this. Let's have a look at the J card and everything, see if there's anything special there. No, it's just a set of stickers and a fairly plain J card. Made in the EU. Could it be assembled in the EU? It's, yeah, this shell isn't. This shell doesn't feel as nice or as sturdy as the later one, which the Type 1 came in. But it is an attractive enough looking cassette. Like I say, the Virgin logo is always very trendy to look at. Let's just wind the tape on a bit, see what sort of colour we are. I'm going to expect a very dark. Oh yeah, that's a very dark tape. That. Let's have a look. Very dark and shiny tape that, so let's give it a sniff. Nope, that's not a chrome. That's going to be this is going to be ferro cobalt. So yeah, question mark. Don't know where this one's come from, but regardless, let's go and fire up a deck, record some stuff onto it and see how it performs. So I'm going to use my CR7 for this, because yeah, I just love this deck. So here we go. I've wound it on a bit just to make sure we're in the good part of the tape in case there's anything wrong at the start. Doesn't appear to be, but yeah, let's put it in, get the ultra swift calibration done. Okay, done. Super duper. Right, I'm going to use another track from Gunnar Olsen, because they're really good tracks. I really like these. I'm going to have this peaking maybe around 3, 5, push it just a little bit. That you should do with a good type 2. So this track is called Trems, Tremsz by Gunnar Olsen. It's on the YouTube audio library. It's a great track. So let's have a listen to this Virgin performs. Okay, so if I was listening to what I was just listening to and somebody said, yeah, you can't beat those 1986 TDK SAs, can you? I'd have said, no, they sound superb. But it wasn't. It was a Virgin Chrome 60 from a brand that, well, a manufacturer I can't actually recognise. But that sounded good, didn't it? I mean, I know some of you will go, well, putting it through the spectrum analyzer, we found that the high-F roll-off at frequencies above 20... It sounded good. If you recorded that cassette yourself and didn't have a source to compare it to, you'd just say, that sounded good. And this sounded really good.
The truth.
Whatever you may think of Richard Branson, his business ethics, the Virgin brand, one thing, at least in my head, that you can't level at him or at the brand itself is that it's cheap or low quality. It's not a budget brand. The items they've made have always been decent. And again, he signed the back of this. Remember, he put on the back of this, he hopes that you liked it. I think this was a superb cassette. It really sounded well. Yes, it's in a good deck, but you've got to think these were probably, these have been sold in multi-packs by the counter in Virgin in the 90s, and it probably maybe cost you £10 for 5 of them. These were not an expensive cassette, but expensive doesn't really represent it. You know, the price doesn't equal the quality. They might not have been expensive, but they certainly weren't cheap. And these were very good. And I think with the Virgin logo on there, this is a classic looking cassette now. You know, the Virgin logo is iconic and this looks classy. But I still don't know where this came from. Now, I'm going to go off tangent just a little bit here, so bear with me. But the nearest I could find to this cassette is this one. Why? Because, well, the shell is the same. Can you see it's got the little, can you see it's got the little dots underneath there? It's got the dots there. It's got that A there. This has got that A there. It's got the same little peg there for tape guide. It's got the same peg there. It's got the same rippled there. And more importantly, you can't feel it, but the corners, it's got the same ridges. This is the same shell. However, this isn't the same tape. I mean, this shell's more smoked. This is clear. These hubs are different. And if we look at the actual tape itself, the tape, I don't know if you can discern it in here, is different between them. This tape is darker. This tape is more brown. They're both dark, but this one's darker. So what tape is this? This completely clear tape? Well, it's this. An Amstrad. And if you're British, you know that Amstrad wasn't exactly the byword for quality. I've not done a review on this cassette, but this cassette is one of the most mind-bogglingly good cassettes. I mean, talk about a complete and utter surprise. This is a complete and utter surprise of a cassette. So, have they come from the same place? Maybe not. I mean, the shells are the same, but that's about it. It's come from the same shell moulding, but it's back to this. And this is where we go off piste a little bit. But I used to have a watch brand. It's called Domar, D-E-A-U-M-A-R, where I used to design watches, get them made in the Far East, and sell them. And that was a while ago now. But regardless, I used to use an outfit in Hong Kong, and they used to offer me a Swiss finishing service. Now, in order for a watch to be able to say Swiss made on it, do you know what it needs? It needs to have at least 50% of the value and final inspection done in Switzerland. So, you know, this might, you know, shock you a little bit, but a lot of these watches you see which say Swiss made, all the moulding, you know, the cases, the movement, the straps, the minerals, the face, they're all made in the Far East, then shipped in bit format. I don't mean in computer bit, but they're shipped in pieces unassembled to Switzerland. What they do in Switzerland is they add a mainspring to the movement. Well, if it's an automatic, which they mostly are, but they add a mainspring to the movement, they assemble it and then inspect it, and then they can put Swiss made on it. So, you know, basically everything's made in the Far East, but as long as 50% value is added in Switzerland, they can say Swiss made. That's where this comes in, where it says made in the EU. I'm not entirely sure what the terms were in the days of this cassette as to why something could be said made in the EU. I don't, you know, if anyone was actually enforcing it, or whether it was just a big company put made in the EU. Maybe these had the tape loaded in them in the EU. Maybe it was so far as adding 50% value by giving it a J card, a set of stickers, putting it in a case, and then wrapping it up. And that will add the 50% value. Because let's be honest, this is a really good ferrocobalt Type 2. This is a 90s cassette. Who was making ferrocobalt Type 2 tape in Europe in the 90s? Now, I know we have this tape, which we said was BASF, which was a bit later. But all I can think is this has... If it is a fully EU cassette, the only tape this can be, because it's not chrome and DuPont, Philips, BASF are known for chrome, is if this came around the time that the Pro Chrome from BASF came out, you know, the one which was based on the Maxell XL2S formula, which was eventually used in the BASF reference Maximas, was that tape in there, because that would be about the only European made Type 2 that's ferrocobalt I can think of. Or because, you know, this doesn't look like a Maxell cassette, it doesn't feel like a Maxell cassette. The hubs aren't Maxell, the shell isn't Maxell, the shell is Far Eastern, because this Amstrad cassette doesn't say where it's actually made, but if it's Amstrad, everything that Amstrad was made in the Far East. So I think more than anything, even though the tape's not quite the same as the Amstrad, this could be forward of Hong Kong, along with like Bush, Goodman's, Amstrad, Woolies tapes, etc. I think this is that, but with a little bit of slylist to say made in the EU on it, when they probably aren't. But I guess we'll never know. But all I can say is this really is a superb sounding Type 2, and if you can get some at a decent price and you've got a good deck, it will really surprise you, because I was surprised that this was a really good sounding tape. So, thanks again for this video, and I want to say, do you want more videos? Because if you do, you've got to do something for me. Now, you know, I know I keep harping on about this, but I have another channel going which is linked to a hobby business, and it's Tony's Toy Chest. This one. Bing! So, if you enjoy these videos, because I don't ask for any money off you, I don't ask for a Patreon, you don't have to send me anything, you know, I do these and I lose money on every one I do, because these cassettes could be sold, but I open them and now they're virtually worthless. So I lose money with every video I do. So I'm asking you nicely, watch this video here, bing, or just go to it, click on subscribe to Tony's Toy Chest. I need the subscribers to get that channel going. So if you want more videos, you can show me that you do want more videos on cassettes by going over to Tony's Toy Chest and clicking the subscribe button. You don't have to watch any of them, I just need the subscribers to be able to unlock some features of YouTube. So if you could do that for me, I'll keep making more of these cassette videos. And don't forget, if you want to buy some cassettes from Cassette Comeback, it's Cassette Comeback Canada here at www.cassettecomeback.com, shipping to all of North America. In fact, Tony will ship worldwide. This is Tony Cruz, that is, if you're willing to pay the postage rates. So thanks for watching, happy taping, and maybe I'll see you in the next video. Go on, get subscribing. Okay, bye bye.